Hi everyone, my name is Bethany and I, along with my husband Sean, run Trash Pandas Thrift. We are a six-figure reselling business, and here on this channel we share with you all of our tips, tricks, and experiences, all so that you can start and grow your very own reselling business too. Have you ever felt like there is some secret mystery code that you're so close to finding the answer to in order to unlock your sales on eBay, on Poshmark, on Depop? Well, today, I think I'm going to decode that code a little bit for you. I have got the shortcut for you guys today. If there is a shortcut, this is it, to getting more sales online on all of our reselling platforms that we love and talk about here on this channel. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, you're gonna wanna listen to this video. Let's dive right in. My first tip is gonna be something that I use a ton in our business, and that is putting on your buyer hat. And I did that physically because truly it really helps me to put on physically my buyer hat. What in the world does that even mean? This is the first tip of the day because it's probably the most important. When selling online, we're often really cemented into our own perspective, right? We source an item, we look at it from a seller's perspective, a seller's point of view, and often you continue that point of view when you're going ahead and going to list that item online. Instead, when we look at an item, when sourcing or when listing, looking at an item from a buyer's perspective can completely change not only the way that you might be sourcing, but also listing your items online to sell. And I mean this in so many ways. That means when you're out sourcing and you're looking at an item, instead of sourcing that item based on what you like, based on things that you would wear, that means instead flipping that around and truly sourcing an item because of buyer demand. Is there a buyer out there that you know would buy this because of buyer market demand? And then taking that item home and listing it, not with keywords that you might use in order to find that item, but really putting on your buyer's hat, thinking to yourself, for example, I'm wearing a Zara cottagecore dress right now, right? What would a buyer search if they're looking for a Zara dress, a maxi dress, in order to get your listing in front of that buyer's eyes? I would go ahead and go through my head and really take out those keywords that I want to be hard hitting for buyers. That means not just listing the Zara dress as Zara black maxi dress, but really going in and getting out those keywords that I know buyers are going to be using, buyers are going to be searching. Those same words and keywords that buyers are going to be searching, those are the words and those are the keywords you must have in your title. Because if you have those in your title, that is a surefire way to make more sales. If you don't have the words and keywords in your title that buyers are truly looking for, that they're putting in search engines, you're not gonna pop up. You're just not gonna pop up when they're actually searching for items. And if you're not popping up, we can go down this train a little bit further, you're not gonna be the one that that buyer buys from. They're gonna buy from a different listing that is hitting on the SEO keywords that they put in their search in order to find an item. This can be hard, and this is something that really is a skill. It's a muscle that we build over time. This can be done through research. That means really understanding, and we'll talk a little bit more about this today, what keywords that buyers specifically are using to find items, and even more specifically when it comes to certain brands. This is brand specific. This is category specific, right? One buyer who's looking for a plus size top or a plus size dress is probably going to use and relate to completely different keywords than, for example, a quiet luxury sweater, right? That you're going to list in the wintertime to a completely different buyer base. Different items have different buyer bases, and you have to speak their language. Often these different buyer bases are speaking completely different languages, and switching the way that you're talking in these languages can make all the difference and will increase your sales. Once I learned how to talk all the different buyer languages, our sales absolutely exploded, and that comes with time and with practice. Before we get on to tip number 2, I have some exciting news to tell you guys. If you love coming to our channel and really getting all of the tips and tricks that we offer here, we have a free resource that we just launched that I think you're going to love. We just launched a free newsletter called the Reseller Daily from myself along with the team members at Resellers Edge University. It is truly a way of giving back even more to the reseller community, and I think it's going to impact your business so much. You can go ahead and sign up using the link that we have below, and you're gonna get free to your inbox every single week tips, tricks, style aesthetics, trends, keywords. I'm so excited for all the value that we're gonna continue to deliver to you guys right to your inbox for free every single week. So go ahead and sign up. We're so excited to release this. One of the most important factors when it comes to selling more items online is going to be your pricing. And that leads me to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is going to be to make sure that you're doing your comps and your pricing research based on sold items, not on active inventory. That means if I were, for example, to sell this Zara dress that I'm wearing, and I went ahead and I wanted to look up what other items were selling for this type of Zara dress. So then I went ahead and I did a search on eBay or on Poshmark or on Depop for Zara black maxi dress. And I scroll down, I see they're all active, they're all listed for about the $20, $25. Ooh, wait, more so. It's like 30, 35, 40, 40, 40. I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I can list this higher than I thought I would. And I don't look at the sold listings. But then I go back and I look at the sold listings and I see that although a lot of the active listings are listed at about that 35 to 40 mark, more of them are selling at about that $25 mark, which is why it pays to truly pay attention to sold listings when doing pricing and comp research. You want to make sure that you're basing your pricing in most situations off of what an item has actually sold for, not what other sellers are trying to get for the item. This can ensure that you're pricing yourself competitively by what the market is actually saying that item is worth. If an item sells for a certain amount of money, that is what the market is dictating that item is worth, and that is why we should focus on sold listings when doing comp research. All right, and on to our last tip of the day, probably the longest, but also maybe even the most impactful, and that is going to be keeping your finger on the pulse on markets and trends. As a reseller, I think this is probably the most important thing that you can do for your business that will continue to scale your sales. This can absolutely explode your business, and I'm talking from experience. This tip is like 4 different tips in one, so I'll go through some of the ways that this can impact your business that you might not even be aware of. And the first part is the reason why I wanted to slip in that word market. Let's say you took an item home, you sourced it, you listed it 6 months ago, and it's sitting. You still have it, it's still in your inventory, and you felt so confident on it when you took it home. And honestly, maybe you're right. Maybe you showed me, I love it too. I can't understand why it's sitting. We need to keep a pulse on the market. What that means is maybe 6 months ago when you listed it, pricing dictated what you listed it at 6 months ago, but maybe the market changed. Maybe pricing is actually slowed down. Maybe that price is actually decreased, what they're actually selling for now versus 6 months ago. Or if that item, for example, had a 100% sell-through rate 6 months ago, maybe it got slashed in half as we move to a different season, and it's more at that 50% sell-through rate mark, meaning you have to fix your pricing strategy depending on the market dictates. And the market is always changing. Something that you listed 6 months ago at a price that was good for market rate 6 months ago can be completely different now. And the same way pricing can be completely different now than 6 months ago, so can your entire marketing strategy based on keeping your pulse on trends. Maybe 6 months ago, it was New Year's Eve, right? And I put New Year's Eve in the title of this listing, and I thought that was gonna make it sell like this. Then fast forward 6 months later, we're in the heat of summer, it's June. I still have this top that has New Year's Eve in my listing title. But that's really not helping to sell that item anymore now that we're in the middle of summer. And I have to reevaluate my marketing strategy to go back and to put keywords that are truly appropriate for the time that buyers are viewing that listing. So that's 2 different ways before we even get to the third way, which is my favorite part of this. and that is keeping your finger on the pulse of what keywords, style aesthetics, and trends that buyers are really using in their back pocket in order to find items that they want to buy online. And in today's day and age, that's truly how a lot of buyers are shopping secondhand online on all of the marketplaces, on Depop, on Poshmark, on eBay, everywhere. Right? There is this wave of buyers that, if you've seen our other videos before on this channel, I love to talk about, that are truly buying based on style. And just like we talked about in number one, they have different language that they use, truly. Like how I started this video and I called this Zara dress cottagecore. We could use cottagecore, dark cottagecore. I could keep going. Those are keywords that I should be using in my title because they're currently on trend. So thinking, for example, this is season specific, right? We just did in that second example. If I'm going to spring and summer and I know that what's going to be popular is going to be popular because it's been foundationally popular every year, right? We go into spring, we go into summer, all of a sudden these long maxi dresses, these breathable materials like linen, those become popular again, almost cyclically. I need to make sure that I stay on top of that, sourcing the right items that buyers are in demand of every season, but also speaking their language and using the right keywords. So instead of just long maxi dress, I want to use the keywords that are trending this summer, this spring, in 2025. I want to be hard hitting on the keywords that buyers are going to be using in order to find my items. It makes all of the difference. And if you're not sure where to start with this, we have talked about it on our channel before. This is something that comes with practice and with research. That means keeping up to date using social media, YouTube, Instagram, even watching our videos here and understanding the way that I show pieces and use specific keywords. Beyond that, it could even come from fashion articles and blogs. Your keywords that you should be using are actually all around you. They're surrounding you, and it really takes a minute to tune in and listen. Once we have those keywords, we have to really push them into our listings in order not only to increase our visibility online on these different marketplaces, but that increases our sales. Increasing your visibility online is absolutely crucial in 2025, and I don't think it's going to get any less important. When you think about how oversaturated certain brands are, items with high sell-through rates that might have not as high sell-through rates anymore, the importance of style, the importance of keywords that relates to certain styles, it just gets more and more important. And this, again, is not a bad thing. It's an awesome opportunity that any reseller can capitalize on, and why we talk about it so much on this channel. That's why we save the best for last, and it is tip number 3. Keep your pulse on the market, trends, and keywords. All right, you guys, those are my 3 tips to increase your sales on eBay, Poshmark, and Depop. If you like this kind of video, let me know down below. We have way more tips where this comes from, and I'd love to do a series on this if you guys want to see it. I hope this helps. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.